The Sox are back. I think
Maybe on the
they're
north
back.
side of the city.
I think
I
they're
might go
back.
into Wikipedia and change the Cubs owner to Tim Anderson.
Jose Abreu.
Jose. When Jose hit that first inning, or was it first inning, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Like,
yeah, right in the bucket. Right into the nets to catch the drunks at Wrigley.
That's how my heart felt, you know what I mean? Frederick Keys. If anybody who listens to this knows who the Frederick Keys are, I don't know. I'll give you a picture of Manny Machado playing for them from my phone. I don't know. There's no real problem.
And a signed autograph picture of yourself hammered, thrown out first pitch.
Yeah, that's also true.
Thank you for listening to Shy Sox Talk with your hosts, Chris and Matt, your weekly place for White Sox fan reactions. Kick back, relax, grab your favorite beverage, and enjoy the show.
Hello and welcome to episode 20 of Shy Sox Talk. My name is Chris, as always here with my trusty co-host, Matt. How are you doing tonight?
Woo! Sox are back. I'm feeling great. About the series. I'm feeling great about life. Not really, but my life personally, I'm feeling great about life in general. For the general public, not so much. But White Sox feeling great. Feeling
good.
Feeling alive for the first time in weeks as a White Sox fan.
Hey, we're one hit away from 5 straight W's.
We're 2 hits away from sweeping the Angels. They had they almost came back twice.
This team,
and it just looked like they in the late innings against the Angels. It just looked like a whole different approach. Like they were taking pitches and hitting the pitches that were in the zone that they could hit hard. They've been hitting it hard the whole season, but they haven't really been taking a lot of pitches. And it looked like their approach kind of looked like more of a professional approach the last couple of days. And I think, hopefully those warning track fly balls start leaving the stadium soon.
Yeah, hopefully. Since you brought up the plate approach, we'll go ahead and jump into our first question here from Patrick. And he talks about the plate approach. And he said the White Sox plate approach at the beginning of the season seems like it was off, but the last few games looks like they're a lot more on track now. What are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, if you kind of look at the first series they played, they were crushing the ball. Like anything they swung at, they hit hard. Pretty much for the whole first 2 series, anything they swung at, they hit really hard. And I think that maybe that kind of was like, well, that worked, so let's just keep swinging and hitting it really hard. And they kept hitting it at people, but they also, were not getting that scoring and not generating any offense. So I think kind of a hottish start made them a little swing happy, and now they're kind of back to earth, and hopefully have a good approach, at least for the next couple of months.
Yeah, so I was actually diving into this because I was really curious, because it felt like, they were swinging first, second pitch every plate appearance for a while, and then against the Angels and the Cubs, it felt like they were finally working counts, and I figured it out. So for the first, 4 series, right? 5 series, they were averaging 3.87 pitches per at bat, and since the Angels series started, they're at 4.7 pitches at bat. So they're basically seeing a whole extra pitch every time someone's at the plate, and that's huge. When you have 34 plate appearances in a game, 34 extra pitches, a lot can happen on that. And I think fans are starting to see they're getting ahead in counts. They're still hitting balls really hard, but they're hitting the 4th pitch they see really hard instead of the first one. And they're getting the bullpens too, which is...
Yeah, I mean, they're not chasing as much as they were, when they were on that losing streak. So, this is what we expected from the White Sox. They're still not scoring a lot of runs, which is troubling, but I think the runs are going to come.
It would be nice for them to put some teams away in the 7th and 8th when they got bases juiced and kind of start pulling away a little bit.
Yep, absolutely. Completely agree with that.
And then this is probably going to lead into like a pretty meaty topic for us, because a lot of people actually asked this when we put it out on Instagram today. Well, we'll jump into this first one. Billy is wondering, he thinks the Pens having some absolute implosions and causing some losses, and kind of curious if we agree with that. And I'm not quite sure if I put the White Sox skid on the bullpen necessarily. They're still a top 10 bullpen in terms of ERA in the majors. And when you look at that losing streak, they lost games 3-1, 2-1, 1-0. So it wasn't like the pitching staff was giving up a lot. It was kind of a stagnant offense.
Yeah, if you have no offense, your margin of error is just going to be, you have no wiggle room whatsoever. And with the Sox bullpen, like, I think they've pitched pretty well. And you're going to give up runs. Like, that's going to runs are going to be scored on the bullpen. Ronaldo's not going to blank everyone. Eventually people will give up hits and give up runs, which is why you like to go into the bullpen with a lead. That's the goal here for every team, is to pass the ball to your relievers with, a multi-run lead. So you can give up a few runs, and, but, with the Sox offense kind of stagnated, it's making the bullpen look worse than it is, because every game's pretty close. So I think once they start scoring a few runs, it'll look a lot better. I don't think they're struggling. I think they're pretty good. Hendricks struggled a little bit to start the season, and so did Bummer. And Bummer still, his sinker, you can tell, like, first 3 pitches he throws out there if he's going to have a great outing. Because if he throws a sinker and it's up in the zone, you can tell he's not controlling it, because he's definitely not trying to throw sinkers up in the zone, because it's just like a home run waiting to happen. And, when he's out there was a couple games where he's out there and he's throwing sinkers and they're, dropping out of the zone, or, staying low and getting strikes and getting soft contact. And you can just tell, like, in the first 3 pitches if he's going to get guys out quick or not.
I agree with that. And I think we brought this up last week. I forget where I saw it. I think it was like Baseball Savant. When Aaron Bummer throws a first pitch strike against a batter, he's almost untouchable. But if it's first pitch ball, it's basically like he's a batting practice coach at the home run derby. And I'm not sure if that's like a mental thing with him, or if it's the fact that he kind of lives off the slider. And if he's not ahead in counts, he can't really throw like an effective slider for people to chase. He has to kind of put it over the plate a little bit to have something off speed to change a guy's bat speed.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if he throws first pitch strike, like, he's got it that day. If he doesn't throw first pitch strike, he does not have it that day, and he's going to float stuff right into the meat of the strike zone. I don't know if it's a mental thing. I think, like, you can just tell if he's got it or not that day based on basically the first 3 pitches he throws. If the sinker is sinking, then he's going to be good. If the sinker is flat or up in the zone, he's going to have a rough couple of outings.
Yeah, and I mean, I still believe in a bridge guy. With Graveman and Joe Kelly coming back, his workload's not going to be like an insane thing. He's going to be a solid bridge guy for the team, and I don't think he's anybody Sox fans need to really worry about.
No, I think Bummer's a good pitcher, and he has shown in the past and has been an excellent pitcher. He's kind of looking like a average pitcher right now, but he has the ability to be an elite arm out of the pen.
And then the one question we kind of got the most, and it was a variation of it, with Johnny Cueto, Yoan Moncada, and Joe Kelly coming back to the squad soon, who gets moved? And that's that's going to be tough. I kind of look at the roster. There's 14 pitchers right now, 12 batters, so maybe they go 13-13, but I know for a fact one guy's not going to be there. It's Dallas Keuchel, or he better not be. Like, Dallas Keuchel better not be an option to be on the mound when Johnny Cueto is ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, they're paying him $18 million, I think, this year. But I think he's the odd man out. I think he needs to be DFA'd. like to make room on the roster because, I mean, do you want him coming out of the bullpen? I know I don't.
And I also don't think anybody appreciated his comment. I'm sure nobody appreciated his comments after the Indians game because, like, what are you going to walk into a room and a guy's going to be like, hey, you know what, man? You are right. 9 hits and a blast. That's actually not a bad day. Like, I don't.
And, like, rarely, if ever, do you hear any professional athlete, like, my team messed it up. It wasn't me. You know? Especially a pitcher in a baseball game who gave up 9 hits in a row. He's like, well, you know, they weren't playing great defense behind me. You were throwing bad. They were hitting at 200 miles per hour, dude. Of course the defense is going to be bad.
Have you ever tried to stop a 200-mile-per-hour baseball, Dallas? Also, shout out to Dallas Keuchel receiving a Gold Glove Award with a 25,000 ERA and a 2.3 WHIP. He's allowing 2 1/3 batter on base per inning he throws. That is insane. That's
I mean,
insane.
it's looking like a bad free agent signing.
I mean, they got a good year and a half.
He wasn't even that good. No, I don't think they did. I think they got a good half a year out of him.
Yeah, I guess the 2020.
Because he did kind of fall apart in 2020 too, at the end of the season.
You're right. I forget about that because it was so short that, like, yeah, Dallas Keuchel. I mean, you can't hit them all, but Dallas Keuchel, I'll go ahead and hit you on I-94. To the other 2 moves, though, I don't know because the roster was just trimmed from 28 to 26, right? Danny was sent down. He was brought back up because of Vaughn, but he's not like he's going to be sent immediately back down when Vaughn's back off the 10-day. So, you know, I don't know who comes out of the pen for Joe Kelly. I guess to start there, I mean,
so maybe Ryan Burr.
Yeah, Ryan Burr. Matt Foster's been kind of earning his time a little bit.
Matt Foster was really good in 2020, and then last season he got lit up by I can't remember if it was the Rays or the Mariners. He like gave up like 8 runs.
Second series. Yeah.
He just got lit up, and then he never found it again. And Tony hung him out to dry, and just let him get shelled for like 3 innings. And then he just stunk it up the rest of this season. But he was excellent in 2020, and he looks like he found it again. And that is going to be huge for the White Sox.
Yeah, I mean, he is like, what was last night? You know, Aaron Bummer struggles a little bit, maybe puts a guy or 2 on, and he just comes out and it's like, all right, this is my inning now. I've got it. Don't worry, everybody. Right-hander against me. You can call me Mariano because he's not even touching this thing. Like, we're getting out of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that all the injuries and kind of like the shrink of the team of the roster is actually in a way forced Tony. It's forced Tony La Russa to like make normal decisions that like everyone else kind of agrees with. He's not doing like weird things like batting Leary in the 3-hole or in the 2-hole, or like let's put our worst pitcher in right now, or what, you know, like weird stuff that he's been doing. Because like it seems like he's managing
the team like a normal human.
Yeah.
I mean, just kind of looking here at the current bullpen situation, and there's 14 pitchers. I mean, do you see a situation where it's Bennett Sosa and Ryan Bird that gets sent down, and the team goes to 13-13 with Kelly and Yohan taking their places on the roster? I mean, looking over the infielders, I mean, really the only other infielder that would make sense to move is somebody who's definitely not going to get moved because Tony likes him too much, and Leo Garcia. They're not going to option Josh Harrison out of the South Side. Like,
no, Harrison will
right?
stay. I mean, maybe Berger gets sent down.
I was thinking that too because they probably want him playing every day because he's your best bat if he has to come back up.
And he kind of seems like he's been struggling a little bit the past couple games.
I mean, do you give him a week at second and see if he can do it? I don't know if he has the range. I don't know if he has the glove. Honestly, I don't know. I like him. I like his story, but his glove just doesn't look like a major leaguer's glove.
I mean, he's been all right at third base. You know, he's not saving you any runs. He's probably not losing you too many. He's like pretty fast too. He's much faster than you would expect. I don't know how quick he is, but I know he's pretty fast down the line. I think he's going to be the odd man out though when Yohan comes up.
Kind of think so too, because he has options left. It would make sense for him to be the guy, and he still gets to play every day. I think the White Sox want him at either level, seeing the field like every day.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to see him, like if he goes down, have him play second base the whole time.
See if he can do it.
Yeah.
Because if he can, his bat plays against righties and lefties.
Yeah.
He's a really good major league hitter. But you don't send Vaughn. Vaughn will forever be on the south side until whatever day, that comes to an end. But, I mean, Andrew Vaughn is arguably the best bat on the team right now, outside of Tim Anderson.
He's a bona fide major league hitter, both sides. He looks great. Very excited to see the kind of rest of his career. Does he ever play first base? When's the last time you saw him play first base?
He plays left. He plays corner outfield now.
Like, is that
he's like
is he pegged in as a corner
Pujols.
outfielder now?
He's like Albert Pujols, rookie of the year. Could play out left field too, apparently. Let's LOL at me when we were leaving Duncan's in 2019 when I'm like, the White Sox should trade Andrew Vaughn, and I forget who I told you for, but he basically were like, I'll push you in front of this refrigerator truck if you ever say something like that again.
Yeah, dude, Andrew Vaughn's a stud. He's great. That's a great draft pick.
Huge draft pick. So, the White Sox.
Also, he would have been the first pick in the draft if he played left field in college. So I feel like Cal kind of robbed him by having him play first base.
Who went in front of him? Was it Bobby Witt Jr. was in the same draft? And who was another big name in that top three?
I don't remember.
We'll find out. And stay tuned for your next
We'll have the producers look it up.
Yeah, producers by. We'll have the ops team look it up. Yeah. So the White Sox were honestly 2 hits away from sweeping the Angels, and I'll tell you what. I don't know what they found. They found their it back, but that Sunday game in the 9th inning, that's a team I want to see every inning for the rest of my life.
Absolutely. They were. I really thought they were going to rally and win that thing. And Gavin Sheets kind of what did he just tap down the first baseline
I think it went to check swing and it just hit.
They were seeing pitches. They were seeing a lot of pitches. They were hitting the ones that needed to be hit. They were hustling. They were scoring runs timely. If they didn't get those 2 runs the inning before,
that's the game's over. When
they would have won the game, maybe, yeah. But that probably changes the whole calculus of the next inning. But either way, I thought it was promising. They really haven't rolled over and died, unless they were playing the Cleveland Guardians. They rolled over and died in those games. Well, I guess they lost 1-0. So
yeah,
with the B team.
That B team was. Let's never do that again, Tony. If you're gonna put out a B team, just put yourself up there.
People paying to watch the game, man. There's
Right.
people paying to watch the game. You should put your best team out there.
Every time. And one thing I kind of noticed from the Angels series, and I noticed in the Cubs series too, is I honestly think Luis Robert should be in the 4-hole. It splits Tim and him. They're both really aggressive, and I think it just gives Luis a little bit more protection having Jose and Yasmani around him in the order rather than Tim above him and Devon.
I agree. People, there needs to in the 2-hole, there should be someone who's going to see pitches. So it could be Grandal whenever he starts hitting. But hopefully Moncada. I think he's the perfect pro. I know you want probably your best hitter to be in the 2-hole. so he gets the most at bats. But with kind of the way Tim's player profile is, where he kind of swings a lot, that's just like two quick outs you're asking to see. So I would like to have someone who kind of sees more pitches and walks and gets on base a lot more in the 2-hole.
I agree with that. One option, if you don't want Luis in the 4, like if you want him to have a couple extra at-bats, is you can put him in the 3-hole. If Yohan comes back, you can go Tim, Yohan, and Luis. And if Yohan gets on base, he's fast. But imagine Tim, Yohan, and Luis all get on base in the first inning. They're all fast. You're going to score runs.
I'd rather have Luis in the 3-hole and Abreu batting 4th, and then Yasmani 5 and the rest.
Eloy when he comes back, I guess 6.
Or maybe Vaughn. Vaughn sees a couple pitches too.
Vaughn is I don't know. Vaughn's figured it out. I don't think I had this much faith in this year. I definitely thought it was going to be a lot of this next year or the year after. He looks like Paul Konerko.
His swing is gorgeous. He's like a robot. I used to say the same thing about Paul Konerko when I was a little younger. It's like a robotic swing. It's the same swing,
Every time.
Every time. It's not. He doesn't. When he's trying to hit a home run, he doesn't swing it harder. He's just, hits a home run when he hits a home run.
He just swings the bat and he hits it.
He just, perfect, like robotic swing, repeatable.
And then the Cubs series. We own the north side of the city now. Let's clap it up, folks. We've done it. We have a group, including the fan base. If you were watching that game on TV, there was a lot more black and white in those seats than there was whatever dumb blue that they claim they own. That it's normal blue, folks. It's not anything special.
I'm glad we didn't have to hear this stupid song. I hate that song.
Have you heard the remix?
No.
It's the choke. Choke of choke. That's good. That was like we pointed out at the beginning, White Sox are seeing way more pitches at the dish, and those 2 games were a perfect example. They drew some walks, which I think going into that series they had 4. Felt like it all season. Worked some counts deep. Hendricks is a quality right-handed pitcher, regardless of what everybody says. And they got 4 runs off of him. I will say it would be nice in late innings if they could put teams away when the bases are loaded. I
think they eventually will. My opinion from last week is definitely evened out. I've watched a lot of White Sox baseball in my life, and I've seen them collapse many times. I don't know if you remember this, but when it was like Chris Sale, Jose Quintana.
I remember that.
Rayu, and it was, I think, Robin Ventura's first or second year, and they were going to make the playoffs. They were looking great all year, and then Sale's arm died, Quintana's arm died, and then they just lost, and then they didn't even make a wild card, didn't even make the playoffs, and they definitely should have.
2015, right?
No, it was the year before that, I think.
2014?
Maybe it was 2015. 2016, I don't know. One of the years they started 23-10, and then just turned into the worst baseball team ever. Like that. That was the year Chris Sale jersey up.
Yeah, I think that was 2015.
I think it was like the season before that, or maybe 2 seasons before that, where I'm like, they're going to make the playoffs, baby. This team looks stacked. And then they're just like, we suck.
This is a really long April Fool's joke. We're going to get your hopes really high. April Fools.
April Fools. You just got fooled, pal.
You spent 33 days feeling really good about your 23-10 team, and sorry to say it.
Oh yeah, that was like that was brutal. That season was brutal. But I mean, I've seen it. I've seen them fall apart many times. I've seen promising seasons get blown out in the first week of the season. I think I got a little over my skis, as they say, last week. It is a 162 game season. So I don't know if I think they're the World Series winner this year, like I thought coming into the season, but I think that they are a playoff team if they continue to, they're on an ascension right now. And if they continue that, I'm ready to cheer for them. Yeah. Party. Let's all get wasted.
I think if Jan and Joe Kelly come back and they're the players that the team expects them to be, good luck to the majors at that point. Because, we talked about it all offseason. Yohan Moncada's sick, and Joe Kelly is like a guy you want out of the bullpen. Give him the bases juice with no outs. He doesn't care. Like, he's just going to pitch really hard and attack batters and get outs.
And we got Matt Foster now. It's like a whole other free agent signing, basically. If he's the 2020 Matt Foster, I mean, shit, after last night, he might be the 2022 version might be better than the 2020 version. That's like nails last night. Ice cold blood running through his veins.
Eighth inning, was it 2 outs, 2 guys, second and third? And
I think there was 1 out when he came in.
Oh, yeah. Nick Madrigal was on second for whatever reason. I forgot how he got there. Was it a pass ball?
I don't remember, but it was
incredible
pitching performance. He just froze Ian Happ.
Yeah. Ian Happ, let's just be honest, folks. He's not that cool. Sorry, everybody in the north side of Chicago.
This podcast is better than Ian Happ's podcast.
Yeah, for real. And he's a Pittsburgh native. So, you know what? I'll go to his old home next time I visit my old home, and I'll egg his house.
Send Yin's back downtown.
Yin's gone down to Happ's house, and we're egging it.
Yin's gonna go downtown and egg in Happ's house.
His Nana's there. Make her clean it up. Woo-hoo. But looking at the road ahead here, I guess actually before we go into that, any parting thoughts from the past week that trends, anything that we kind of didn't mention that you saw?
2 things off the top of my head here. One, Liam Hendricks definitely looks like he's got it back. So that's really good. He looks like an elite closer right now. And then thought number 2 is, I think they brought it up during the game last night, but Tim Anderson is swinging at more pitches than he ever has, and he is whiffing less than he ever has. His whiff rate has decreased while increasing his number of swings, which is insane. And his barrel percentage is like 10 or 11, 12%, which is also insane. He's having an amazing year. He had a rough week on the defensive end of it. Like, it was horrible. He would look like the worst fielder to have ever played baseball, but he's probably the best hitter on the team, and he might be the best hitter in the league, and his defense looks fine now. So let's go, Tim.
And he's just hits it where they aren't. Like, you can tell every at bat they try to move around and they try to pick where he's going to hit it, and he just hits it where they're not. He's just like, okay, so the second baseman's going to cover more up the middle this time, or I'm just going to hit it in that little gap right there. Boop, right there. Throw me an outside pitch. Bang. Like,
taco all day.
He just is. I honestly believe that he gets up to the bag. He's like, all right, right there. That's where I'm going to hit it this time, and you can't stop me. Here we go.
He also
has fast hands too.
Murdered the home run that he hit opposite field. Like, if that was a nice warm night, I think that might have been on the street.
Hopefully
he
through
killed
Cubs' home window, their living room window.
It might have gone across the street like Glen Allen Hill 100 million years ago, where he just put it through the window across the street.
That would be sick. Tim Anderson does that.
Yeah,
I'll do.
Glen Allen Hill's a little bit more of a beefier boy.
On the internet. So, looking at the road ahead here, huge week. like massive week for the Sox. You got 3 against Boston, 3 against the Guardians of the Galaxy, and we're probably not going to see the Yankee series before our next one. So now, let's go. Like this, you want to see what this team's made of? Like, let's go. Boston, don't let your record fool. I mean, they play in the AL East. It's tough, and people are like, oh, they're like 10 and 15. Like AL East is.
You got to play the Yankees and the Rays,
and the Jays,
and the Blue Jays. Yeah, I forgot about them.
Yeah.
The Orioles are no good again, but I think.
Adley Rutschman. They're like 9 and 16. We're like 10 and 15, so they're worse than we are.
I think aren't the Sox? I think the Sox are 10 and 13. I think.
11 and 13.
11 and 13. All right, we just got to get back to 500, and then let's play. It's a new season once you get back to 500.
Hey, they're only 3.5 back, and at this very moment, which might be a different moment for you, because we're recording this.
Yeah, this isn't live. It's not live. We're not beaming this into your conscience.
The Twins and Orioles are currently tied, so Twins drop one tonight. We're 3 back, and that could easily, very easily, with 2 plays, the Sox could be up 2 games in the division, taking those 2 against the Twins.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't get blown out by the Twins,
They're 2 plays away from winning that series. They are. It is a fact.
Aaron Baumer gave up that on a nice pitch. Buxton crushed a home run, and then on the Liam Hendricks did not give him. It was not a nice pitch, but he kind of hung it over the plate, and Buxton hit it literally to the moon.
Literally, not figuratively.
Like the exit velocity was literally 375 miles per hour.
But
surprised it didn't kill someone in the stands.
But the way it looks, it's shaping up that Dallas might get a start skipped. So we might get Velasquez, Cease, and Kopech against the Red Sox this weekend. And I take those matchups. Also, as long as the 10:30 game is better than last year's 10:30 game, I'll be happy, because that was awful. I remember being like, it's a Friday, I'm going to watch a little bit of baseball. And then Lucas Giolito gave up like 12 runs in an inning. And I was like,
it's bad.
I guess I'll turn this off. And,
hey, we got Vinny Velo going, so let's go. He looked like a friggin' Cy Young winner
against the Angels, against Mike Trout.
But I guess he was he came from the Phillies, right? I think.
Yeah, Phillies. He threw out 2 Sox at the plate playing right field.
Left field. I think from what I've heard, if you talk to Phillies fans, that is why Vinny Velo, that's my nickname for him, is a pretty frustrating guy. He'll occasionally look like a great pitcher, but kind of the way he was talking about how he threw after the game, he seemed like he, personally was like, I think I've figured something out as a professional baseball player. So maybe Ethan Katz unlocked something with him. So he definitely looks like he got Foster figured back out. Lucas, Ronaldo, that guy's looking like the best pitching coach ever.
Ethan Katz, maybe the biggest signing ever. Put him on the mound. Let's see how it goes. And then, how big is this Cleveland series for the Sox, man? I mean, on the South side, redeem yourself. I think big. And I think we're gonna get a Bieber Giolito matchup one of these days.
I mean, it's hard to say anything this early in the season is like a huge, giant thing, but I think for us as fans, it's a pretty good litmus test for how the season will go. Even if say they get swept, but they're competitive in every game, I'm not, it's going to suck, but whatever. If they get blown out 3 games in a row, I think I'd be worried. But I think they're a better team than the Cleveland Guardians.
I do too. You got a prediction? 6 games? I think they go 4-2.
What did I say last time they were going to go?
You said they were going to lose everything by 100, and we were pretty upset. Last week wasn't the best mental week for us.
Mentally, it was bad.
That extra innings, we watched an extra innings loss, implosion, and then we were like, let's film this bad boy.
Let's get in the studio. They got Boston for 3 and Cleveland for 3.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
You know what? I think they're on a run here. I think like 4-2. I think 4-2.
I think they win both series. They might even get a little. And I think they can sweep Boston. I think
they can sweep anyone if they play like they're supposed to.
And you give Gavin Sheets, like he looks like he's starting to elevate the ball a little bit. You give him that foul pole that's 4 feet down the line that David Ortiz got for his whole career in Fenway. He might be pulling a couple around that this weekend. You know,
I would like to see it. He has he hit a home run yet this year?
I think so. He has one.
I would
Garcia,
like to see that.
First of all, real quick shout out to
Larry Legend. Let's go.
Oh.
Well, guess what? Look at that. When he's not playing every day and he's coming in as a spot starter, that's what he's for. That's like what he's supposed to do. He is not supposed to be getting regular at bats.
And because he gets exposed. Also, his slugging numbers against the NL is an insane thing that they posted.
They showed his interleague play stats. He would be a Hall of Famer if he played the National League. He's like a classic, like old school, like, you know, early, like mid 90s, late 2000s, like kind of National League utility guy. You know, he's been in the league the whole time.
And real quick shout out before we wrap up this week. I want to say sorry to Fatal Raps. He asked a question last week, and because I am an absolute brain genius, I spelled out his name. And then he sent us a message on Instagram, and he goes, "Hey, man, it's pronounced Fatal. But LOL, I laughed when you said PHAL Raps." So, thanks for listening.
You know what? Maybe you should send me the names before, and I probably could get a better read on them.
Yeah, probably.
I'm the better reader of the two of us.
By a mile. It's actually not even close. It's by a long mile. So, but thanks for listening to the show. I'm sorry I wasn't.
Fatal Raps are back.
I'm sorry I wasn't able to properly pronounce your name. Have the reading ability as a fourth grader.
We both out of football. Our brains are
mushed. Rugby basically put mine over the hill. Yeah, words of wisdom for our listeners before going into this week.
You know what? Just enjoy your life, because that's it. I don't want to get into. I don't want to get into any other stuff, but enjoy it.
I think mine are treat every day like a baseball game. It's the beauty of baseball.
Liquidate your 401k before it's all gone.
Okay. We're gonna play sweet music over that part. The beauty of baseball is that every day it's a new game. That's my word of wisdom. I heard that this past week, and I was like, you know what? I like that.
Hit a home run at every at bat of life, or at least a single.
We should start making some inspirational posters.
Yeah, we should be like grind set kind of guys, you know, like positive mindset. If you're positive, you'll get $1 million.
Well, I know a guy like that. His name's Jeremy. He's not a millionaire yet.
The earth is telling me that you should give me $500,000.
The earth God is telling me to liquidate your own assets and put it in my pocket. So, go Sox.
Go White Sox.